Hey, what's going on? What's going on, everybody? On this live stream, wanted to talk about some Vultisig news. They just put out another recap video. This one, it's been 3 weeks since they did a last one. So this one's got 3 weeks worth of stuff in there. So if you aren't tracking Vultisig necessarily every single tweet or what everyone is saying about it, then they cover that in these news articles. You can also go follow on Medium, and I'll put a link to this article wherever this comes out also, so you can go and check out the article yourself if you want to. Give them a follow and all that kind of stuff. But let's get right into it. These are my favorite Vultisig articles when they release these, just because, you know, everything that they're building. The educational ones are great as well, and those come out every once in a while too. But these are, you know, these are definitely my favorite. So they cover developer updates, community updates, some metrics, AI marketplace, and some other things. So let's get into it. Also, if you want to share this video, that would be great. If you want to spread some awareness for Vultisig, that would be awesome. I know that right now it's mostly Thorchain people, I think, that are using it. Somehow we got to figure out a way to broaden that. So I guess Thorchain, Regira Network, are probably the big ones that use Vultisig, my protocol too. So we need to bring other people in, get them using Vultisig or at least trying it out. And by the way, too, if you've got the wallet and you're not using a code already to save 10%, you can use mine. The code is VALT. Just load it into the wallet and then forget about it, and you'll save 10% on your fees. There's other people also that have discount codes. If you don't want to use mine for whatever reason, that's totally cool, but use some discount code. But anyways, all right, let's get into this. Firstly, dev updates. The browser extension update confirms Rugira's support on Vultisig. I know a lot of people have kind of switched over to using Vultisig almost exclusively because of the security of it. You also want to be using it too because they got the airdrop. So if you have assets on there, if you're doing swaps within the wallet, those kind of things, then you're going to qualify for the airdrop. Even just simply having assets, qualified assets in the wallet is all you need to do. But if you trade, swap, some other things in there, then you get this airdrop. So with this Volt extension, confirms Rugira support. So I actually went over to Rugira and I connected a dummy wallet to this, and you could see the different networks. You got Bitcoin on here. Base, so you got the EVMs, Bitcoin, Doge, Cosmos, 3 more, Litecoin, Kujira, and Osmosis as well. So I think that's pretty much everything that Thorchain has connections to. Nothing is screaming off the bat that would be missing from this that I can think of. Bitcoin, ETH, I guess XRP, you would want to see that, but that may not, and I know XRP is live in Vultisig, so, but maybe they don't even have XRP on here yet to do anything in Rugira, so I'm sure that's going to be coming soon. But either way, very cool to see this functionality in here. So if you wanted to stake, then you can do that with the online dashboard that I'm looking at here. So you would just go over to the earn and then go to the stake tab, and, you know, pending revenue. This is always kind of awesome. And then you would just, you know, confirm and deposit your Rugira here, and then you would have your staking yield, and then you could claim rewards once this revenue is distributed, which it hasn't been yet, but it will be soonish, to my understanding. And it will be, you can already do the staking in Vultisig also, but I'm not sure if you can do it on the computer. Actually, let me just pull up a dummy. I've got a dummy Vultisig wallet that I can pull up here. And if we go to Thorchain, go to function, and go to, I do not see a staking Rugi. You can unmerge now, though. So if you've got your Rugi in any of the pools on Rugira, then you can unmerge from there if you wanted to. So that's just something that we'll look forward to, I guess. But yeah, this has to be right around the corner. I don't know if they were waiting on Vultisig, but now with Vultisig really having it everywhere in here for you to be able to stake, then except for, like I said, except for on the computer, I know iOS test flight, and I think Android already has it. So I'd imagine it's coming to the computer very, very soon. And then if you wanted to look at some other things, what amount's going to ThorChain, how it kind of breaks down. And then they've also got this understanding the revenue flow for the Rujira to ThorChain breakdown. So you could check those out as well if you want to. But this Vultisig, this is the first. Okay, I'll try not to blabber so much. I realize I'm blabbering. Also, if you want to chat, you can chat. I know it's better on YouTube. I could see more of the chats, but I'll try to make these a little bit quicker as we move through here. So the browser extension, Rujira support, very, very cool. Okay. What else do we got? Vultisig fully supports Rujira. Check out what Hippocampus, the dev specifically dedicated to this integration, says about what he sees coming with the harmony of the two platforms. So let's actually open this up here. And I do remember I read this already. This was the cool part, I think, if I remember right. Let's zoom in. After a couple of weeks of working on this integration, he can confidently say there's never been anything remotely like it in the space. It literally could offer the same experience as Binance, which is how they're kind of branded as Binance, just on-chain, decentralized Binance, but in a fully self-custodial and secure way. It's a turning point for DeFi. I know that's often said, but once you try it and work with it in depth, you realize it's virtually limitless. So that's pretty cool. From the dev himself. They've also got another partnership they announced with CFGI, and they've got a trading bot, this CFGI Mave. And you can go and check that out. I think they require an email. I haven't used it myself, but I've seen some other ThorChain people. I know Wolf of DeFi is a big fan. I think it's High on Thor or High on Alpha Thor, one of those. I can never remember the full name. Big fans of this. So they have a partnership, and they're going to bring this trading bot to Vultisig, to my understanding from reading this here, which I think is going to be cool because currently you have to use an email in order to participate. And I am not a fan, just my personal thing. I'm not a fan of logins with email or any sort of identifiable thing like that. So if you can just use a bot in Vultisig that doesn't require any identifiable information, I think that's the way to go. So if they bring this bot to Vultisig, then that could be pretty cool. I've never used a trading bot before, but the guys are reposting that it's winning a lot. So we'll have to see. Either way, very cool partnership there. Wallet imports, this is a big one. I think this one would be pretty big. For getting somebody that has a wallet already, and they're used to the seed phrase sort of paradigm in their head, and if you can allow them to import their wallet with a seed phrase and not have to, just create a wallet from scratch, send in there, I just think they might be more friendly with doing that. Although, depending on how big a maxi they are, they might say, I don't want to put my seed phrase anywhere on the internet. So you may not get some of the maxi types, but I think general people that just have a few $1,000s in crypto, which I know is a lot of money for some people, but you get what I'm saying, right? A few hundred, maybe a few $1,000s, and they can just import it, that same wallet. So they don't have to send any funds anywhere. It's just the wallet goes in. It's the same wallet. So now what they could do is they'll have the vault shares in the wallet on Vultisig, but they'll also know in the back of their mind that they still have the seed phrase stored wherever it is they store it. So if they've got it, written on a piece of paper, taped backwards, and then painted over on a wall or whatever, then they can still just be fine with that being there because they didn't have to change addresses or the private key or the seed phrase or anything. And I think it will stay the same. So you seed phrase over here, you import it, and it's going to stay the same. You won't have to do anything to that. Although the how of this has not been revealed yet, apparently. But, it's kind of like Ford. If you read this story of Ford, the cars, Henry Ford used to say, I want the engine built like this. And the engineers, I think it was, I don't know how many, bunch of engineers were like, that's impossible. We can't do it like that. And then he went back to him. He asked 3 months later, I need the engine like this. And they're like, it's impossible. We can't do it like that. And after 9 months or a year or something like that, they had a breakthrough and then the engines were built like that. So it's pretty cool with some of this coding stuff and devs deving where they're like, we want this thing to happen. And they know loosely that they can get there, but they don't know how exactly they're going to get there, just that it can or maybe can be done. I think that's pretty fascinating if you think about it. But either way, so that function should be in Vultisig at some point. And for me, I think that will be a big one for bringing in new people. You've got, they also posted some weekly dev updates over these last 3 weeks. I'm not going to go and read all of them, obviously. I mean, I did read them all, looking for like any that were particularly, big. And nothing is like nothing was really that big. Rugi staking was implemented on Android. Like I said, iOS native Rugi staking feature is added. Maybe it is fully in there now if you update the app. I haven't tried this in a couple days, but I know it's on test flight, so maybe now it is on the iOS. But I didn't go and look at it right before this. That was the big thing. A lot of this is just usability, updating. I don't know, right? These little bug fixes and things just to make it more friendly so that people don't get stuck in any particular spot, or it's faster, or offers a new little thing, And Pal had this video, which is pretty cool. And let me actually mute this. But if you've used Vultisig, you'll know that if you want to select an asset, then you click on it, and then it'll have the chain and the asset. And if you want to switch the chain, you have to click on it, and then there's two separate things. But it may not. It's like an extra step. If you're familiar with it, it's not a big deal at all, in my opinion. But this here is pretty cool. And it looks like if I zoom in, it kind of goes right over it. But on the bottom, you'll see that you can just slide the chain, and then the assets listed change. So you can just slide and then pick the asset, which I think is pretty cool. And then you're just working on selecting the asset. Once they get a bunch of chains on here, like tons and tons and tons of chains, you're probably going to want to have the ability to search your chain. So maybe they'll create like your top, like you can favorite some chains, and that'll be like the first 4, and then you scroll for the rest of them, something like that. But it looks like they're adding some bells and whistles, just trying to make it more user-friendly all the time. And I thought this was a cool feature, honestly. Then we go into some community updates. You had a community speedrun challenge, which was who can create a fast vault the fastest and back it up. And someone did it in 21 seconds here. And this person was Classmate Fang. And I'm going to hit play. I don't think there's any music, but this is just crazy, crazy quick. And I was wondering too, as I was watching it, because, I edit videos when I make them from time to time, but I didn't spot any obvious parts here where it looks like he's like cheating by kind of editing in certain parts. That it looks like he's doing this all just in real time in 21 seconds, maybe using a clipboard or something like that, or maybe skipping over a couple little things there. But boom, vault created, enter. So yeah, now he's backing it up here, just entering in a pin. If you want to do that, I think for a fast vault, you do have to do that. And then boom, he's already, yeah. So now it's just replaying. So we did 21 seconds. Very, very cool. You could show that to somebody if you want to, for how to set up a very fast vault. But congrats to this person. I think they got a vault whitelist spot. And I think that's also in the news here that we're going to cover. If you haven't yet, for the vault whitelist, you need to go and reactivate your spot. Otherwise, you'll lose it. I think most people have done that already. And I don't know the time frame for how long they're going to allow that to happen. But if you just are sleeping at the wheel and you've stopped paying attention to Vultisig, thinking you had a whitelist spot, and you're just looking for news of a whitelist for the launch, then you might get peeved. You might get upset when you find out that your whitelist spot is gone. But Chasing Fang, I think it was, Classmate Fang, just won a whitelist spot, so that's pretty cool. Delphi Ventures tipped a cap, did the tip a cap to Vultisig. I went and they basically just said that they really like it. They like the vision of it in here, mostly towards the bottom, I believe it was, right? They're strong believers in the team's vision. I went and actually took a look at Delphi Ventures to see what all they're invested in. So they're an investment firm. If we go to delphiventures.org, they've been around since 2019. I've seen this guy around before. Not any of these other people, though. And doesn't this guy, who they thought was the original Satoshi Nakamoto? Like the guy that they took the picture of him at the car. Doesn't it look like this could be like his son or something with the hairdo and the glasses? Anyways. And then you look at the portfolio and they're in a lot of stuff. So if you look at all here, it's just in alphabetical order, stuff going all the way back to Axie Infinity. Is that still even a thing? Maybe they got burned on that. Maybe they got out or something like that. But they're also investors, I don't know how early, in Vultisig and in Thorchain. Woo woo. Let's see, Maya Protocol in here or no? Maya Protocol. I don't see that. Shame, Delphi. I'm just kidding. But yeah, they're in a lot of stuff. So pretty cool to see them give a nod. They've also got 12.6 thousand followers on Twitter, which, it's more than I got. So pretty cool to see them do that. And okay, so and then community reminders. They got a space tomorrow at 3 p.m. UTC. This, I believe, is 8 a.m. Eastern time. If you want to go and check this out, they're going to dive into everything Vultisig, what they're building, and how it's obliterating crypto wallets as we know them. And really, once you do try it, do you feel kind of insecure, depending on how much money I guess you have in it, using a seed phrase wallet? So just give it a try. If you have not tried it, just go to vultisig.com, download the wallet, give it a try, and see. And once you have some, I think you'll really like it. And it's free and uses your own devices. Unlike some other companies where you have to buy a specific device, with this, you don't have to do that. You just use the devices that you already have. We already talked about this Volt whitelist confirmation reminder. I think last I thought they were going to be launching in August, September from some comment that was left in the dev talks portion of their Discord. I don't know if that's still the thing or not, but just assume it is. The latest that, if you assume latest it launches is at the end of September, then that means they're going to close this whitelist thing down. Like, I mean, maybe a couple weeks, maybe less than that. If they're trying to launch sooner than that, like at the end of August, then obviously it's crunch time. You want to get that. And they've posted about it so much that don't be upset if you forget to do that. Some smart folks speak the truth. So you got this guy to tell you that Volt supply will be 100 million max. That was pretty cool. Video I did a couple weeks ago out in the heat outside. You got POW, literally a match made in heaven. This was the partnership with CFGI, which is pretty awesome. Kaiser or Keese Rune. I'm not sure how you say this. Using Vultisig is fantastic with recent updates. And this is important. This is going to lead into a section later. It was like 10 different transactions to do this thing you wanted to do, and all went super smoothly. Once you understand the vol shares are not seed phrases, it's a whole new world. So safe. Sam Yap, no offense, but goodbye, Kepler. I don't want to throw shade at any other wallets, but I guess he likes Vultisig and he does not want to use Kepler. Vultisig levels up its BD game. That is business development, I'm pretty sure. And that got them this gold check mark. So if you are a corporation and you prove that, Twitter will give you, and you also, instead of having a square emblem here, you get, or instead of having a circle, it turns square. FYI, if you didn't know that, if you ever see someone's Twitter logo as a square, that's why. So it says here, officially authenticated Vultisig as a verified organization. This is a recognition, blah, blah, blah. I'm curious the details on this. How decentralized is it? I mean, not that this matters, right? And I'm not saying the wallet's open source. That portion is totally decentralized. I just wonder about the organization behind it and how that whole thing works. Anyways, I suppose it doesn't really matter. But good for them. Poker nights, they're still doing those. And you can earn some Vulties, which are the airdrop points. So they do count towards token. I mean, essentially, they're giving you tokens when they give you the points. How many tokens each point is worth or anything like that, I'm not entirely sure. I don't think they'll know until it's the end of the actual airdrop season. So, but still, if you like playing these poker, hanging out with the community and winning some points, it's free to do. Then go and check that out. They've also got some mini Galaxy quests. Right now, they got this one. You can earn 15 USDC. Earn rewards. What do you got to do to earn $15? Just follow Vultisig on X, and someone will win if you're logged in and participate in this. In terms of metrics, getting into the analytics here, I don't think they have since, I think, was it Flipside or Dune that they used to have the dashboard? Either way, whichever one they were using before, they went down. They like closed up shop or whatever. So they don't have a dashboard like that yet, but you can use xscanner.org to pull the last 30 days and the metrics that they track over there. So I actually have that opened up if you want to take a look at it. And what you would do, xscanner.org, then you go to interfaces, and then you can see how everything is going. Like today, Vultisig is ranked number 9, 37,000 in volume coming through here, right? 12 swaps, 11 users, so 11 different people, which is good. I think growing the users is important. What else did they kind of say in here? Total unique swappers, 290, up 53%, which is good. Average fees earned $17. Total swap transactions are up 50%. So unique swappers and total swap transactions are up 50%, which is great. So yeah, in terms of the stats, it sounds like users are learning about it. And that's what I'm saying. Share these videos. Try to tell your friends about it. I know that it could be a hurdle, storing the vault shares online or on a disk. You can also store it on a disk, but for some people, that's going to be a hard thing to overcome since everyone's used to the seed phrase thing and writing everything down. But nonetheless, once they try it, there's no going back. AI marketplace. I like the trading bot thing. Like KuCoin had trading bots, but I've just never really wanted to use centralized exchanges. So I've only ever used them as an on-ramp. So I don't keep anything on a centralized exchange for any purposes. So it's pretty cool to see these plugins. And one thing I'm excited about is an AI trading bot. So the CFGI folks, and theirs is going to be pretty cool, but also DCA plugins, all kinds of other cool stuff, indexing, whatever it is that you want to do. So it is coming and it is around the corner. And this, let's see. Yeah, this is one JP mentioned. So Kaiser back in here, he said he had to do 10 transactions. Vultisig will be able to have plugins to where you would just have to sign the one thing and then the plugin or the agent would do the other 10 transactions for you, it sounds like. So that's kind of cool. Simplify things, make it a lot easier. Pow's obviously bullish on it too, right? The token eventually is the thing that they're saying right now, but it's all in the pipeline. And JP dropped this sort of sneak peek on what the App Store would look like. This is not, I asked if it was going to be more of a website or if it's going to be a page in the app, and it's going to be both. So there's going to be a website you can go to or a page in the app. That's what both means. Just FYI, repeating myself. But it looks pretty cool. Something that you're used to, like an App Store. If you go and download Vultisig from the App Store or anywhere else, this is kind of what it looks like. So it's going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. Automate your payrolls. I think these are just like fillers in here, but I'm mostly looking forward to the trading bots myself. So that'll be fun. Smart Money says AI agents and blockchain. I think we all know that AI agents are going to be the future of things, and how long or what role will human beings actually have in being on the internet? I saw a good take from somebody that was like the AI slop, although I think the point is that eventually it won't be slop. You won't be able to tell if that's a real human being or not. But, will people search out actual human beings? Will there be flags for that? Will that be impossible to tell? I don't know. Can AI create enough of this is a real person type of feeling or not? I think is what it's going to come down to. But nonetheless, that's just like with video creation. Slight tangent there. But they say smart money, AI agents, and blockchain. So probably all the big money is going to come into this kind of thing. And, even Nerolf, Nerolf knows this. Ready to bet that AI agents will be the primary users of blockchains. And if you, like with Thorchain, at least in particular, I know the ARB bots do, I think, most of the volume. Like 80% for some reason is the number I'm thinking of, but I don't know if that's actually accurate. But ARB bots use Thorchain more than, humans do swaps on Thorchain. So is that just going to be exacerbated when you've got multi-chain and the bots can just freely bounce around and look for opportunities and trade and yield and all this kind of thing? I would bet yes. So we all know this is coming, and Vultisig is the only wallet that I know of that is built in a way that AI agents are going to be able to use while still having some sort of human like oversight and supervision. A bot might want to do something, but it only has one share, let's say, and you have to manually sign something. Or you can set parameters for the bot and say, I'll put you on a leash. You can do $200 in transactions. Otherwise, you have to come and ask me, sort of deal. And you've also got a, what's up, Rocky? First message I'm seeing in here, is Vultisig and Thor Wallet the same thing? No, it is not the same thing. So Thor Wallet has its own product, its own app, but they do have Vultisig tech in it. Last I checked. So they were going to merge at one point when Vultisig was first talked about, and then they did not do that. Thor Wallet uses Vultisig's tech, and that's it, as far as I know. Thor Wallet's got its own token, the TITN token. Vultisig will have its own token, the Volt token, VULT. And how much outside of Thor Wallet just integrating Vultisig's tech, how much else are they going to have in common? I'm not really sure. Like, will Thor Wallet have the plugins? I'm not sure. That part I'm not sure. And Rocky, thanks for the chat. Security Spotlight is 2005. It's 2025, y'all. Get yourself some safety and security. So RR here posted this, and it was just about, and I think that streaming swaps are what allows this. And it's comparing two quotes. This one I believe is on Uniswap. 800 ETH goes to 2.77 million USDT. And this swap using Thorchain goes to 2.7, almost 9 USDT, which is like a lot. What is that? $20,000 worth of savings. And I'm imagining it's probably the streaming swaps, but I didn't look too much into this year. Does Uniswap have that? Maybe not. So the slip is higher because it's a bigger order. So this person could break it up into chunks and wait, or this person just uses Thorchain and does streaming swaps, is what I'm thinking. Because, yeah, this swap takes 6 hours and 29 minutes, whereas this swap is probably instantaneous. So you're going to pay for that. But I know Thorchain's got some, with rapid swaps, maybe something else. It's hard to keep up with, at least for me personally, what exactly is what. You'll be able to do sort of like intense, I guess, where a big swap, if there's someone on the other side of that can do it instantly, they'll just do that instantly. So this streaming swap, if there was somebody that has this amount on the other side and is willing to do it for cheap, might just be able to do this in one block. It may not take 6 hours or this one. It wouldn't take 6 hours and 29 minutes. It could just be done instantly. And when that happens, I think Thorchain will show up closer, if not the top, closer to the top in comparison to the other competitors that are out there, or at least show up at the top more often, which obviously would be more volume and more fees, hopefully. So yeah, that's pretty good there. 3 million lost due to a phishing attack. That is terrible. Maybe just a bad URL, or this looks like, if they're pointing at this, maybe it was a dust attack. So they dusted an address and then maybe someone used it and sent their funds, they thought, to themselves. Just, some people, they just go into their last transaction, they copy the address, and that's what they use. Instead of, manually typing it is difficult to do. You can make human error mistakes even doing that. Like, if you've ever done that before, sent to an address where you're manually typing it, if you're like me, you're looking at that address like 3 different times. If you're using different computers or different setups, your phone, a computer, whatever. So $3 million is a lot of money for something like that. Or they could have downloaded a malicious app like this person did. Yudi says he read a sad story about a young family that saved almost 7 figures worth of Bitcoin over years and lost it all to a phishing app their entire life. So likely what happened, they downloaded an app thinking that it was a legit wallet probably, and then entered a seed phrase. And once someone malicious gets your seed phrase, it's over. It's not like with Vultisig where, let's say you're using 2 out of 3 secure vault and they compromise one of your computers and get a vault share. Without the other vault share, one of the other vault shares, they can't move anything. They can't move any funds. That's the beauty of Vultisig. So yes, you store them online, hopefully still securely in different places, but someone has to compromise multiple devices, multiple email addresses, multiple storage locations, of which they couldn't. How would they know those locations? So it's just not that easy to do. Whereas if you get the seed phrase, it's over. So yeah, that's sad. I mean, all this is sad, right? This isn't like, yeah, you should have just used Vultisig. It's like, man, it's a bummer that people are still using seed phrases, because all it takes is just one little stupid mistake, and people are prone to mistakes. These people, obviously, this $3 million and this other about $1 million worth of Bitcoin, obviously was not on purpose. So the guardrails weren't there. Most people aren't tech savvy. I'm barely tech savvy. Any tech savviness I have is just from like trying to read about it. I've never built anything or whatever. So, most people don't know how to stay private with their stuff. They don't know how to securely store certain things. They don't know how to verify if an app is safe or not. And so you just give them one point of failure with just one seed phrase, and you're bound to have people lose money. And all we're hearing about is the big ones. I'm sure for every $1 million phishing attack where someone lost money, there's probably 100 other people that lost like $2,000, $3,000 and stuff like this. In terms of the Volt token hype, I don't want to get too into this and hype this too much. I don't know what's going to happen exactly with the launch. Don't know when the launch is. I think soon-ish, but I did see this here. This one's from July 19th. It's going to capture 100% of swap and bridge fees plus 30% of marketplace revenue. Stake USDC, max supply 100 million. I think that's still accurate. I do wonder, because I looked JP, let's see if I have it. He posted this regarding Vultichain. I don't fully get it. I don't know if it's like an actual, I don't fully get it. Verifier nodes independently check validity of proposed plugin transactions. I imagine they're going to want to get paid to do this. If you were going to provide this service, you would want to get paid. So if they're going to be generating revenue, then I imagine some of the revenue has to go to these verifier nodes. But I asked about it in like a tweet, just I'll put it out there into the ether, and I didn't get a response back on that. Maybe they're still trying to figure that out. So I don't know what that's going to look like, but this was cool here. Each verifier would need a large Volt bond, probably 1 million or higher. And if that's of Volt, then what do you think might happen with the demand of it if people want, if it's a good enough incentive to run a verifier node and buy 1 million of the token, you would get rewards. I assume these people would still get rewards for the revenue share from just fees generated, but also, they would get that and whatever fees they're getting for actual doing the job of verifying. So maybe it'd be a double whammy. You buy it, you stake it, you get the regular revenue, but then you get a bonus revenue for being a verifier node. That maybe make it worth it. But if you have to buy 1 million and there's 100 million supply, you'd have to buy 1% of the entire supply to be a verifier node. I don't know if people would do that. Like I said, they're just going to have to weigh out. And I'm sure at the beginning, it's going to be people maybe close to the project that were maybe early investors that have that much Volt and got it. I don't even want to say cheap or not, because I don't necessarily know. That's a relative thing. The token hasn't launched yet. So we'll have to see. Either way, though, I thought that was pretty cool. And yeah, no governance fluff, earn USDC from fees, built to reward users and holders. Yeah. So when? Eventually. So that's it for the news for Vultisig. All pretty cool stuff, if you ask me. Monk says, I checked to see that story was true, and it was. and not the first time it happened. Not the first time it happened to that family. That's sad. That's a bummer. If that's the case, that's more than one time that you've been fished, then you need a custodian. So I guess, as much as I want to be like, as much as I'm in the camp of, I don't know, did you guys see Bruce Fenton's tweet earlier where he was like, KYC and AML is basically, I can't remember his exact words, but it's not right. It's not right to do that sort of thing. The harsh truth is that some people are just not savvy enough or smart enough, or things just aren't built in a way for everybody to self-custody their crypto. So those services are going to exist, and they're, it's going to be necessary, because also there's a portion of the population that is maybe gullible, and I don't know how to, right? If you're low enough down on the IQ level and you're in control of any sort of money, you can be tricked into doing stuff. Like I saw this one video. This was like a murder mystery YouTube story that I was watching, right? Because those are fun to watch sometimes. And this lady tricked a man into fake robbing her. And she set it up to murder him, to make it look like she was going to get murdered by this guy that she tricked into doing this, to like get an insurance policy thing. And they caught her. They saw it was all BS or whatever. But if you watch that story, you're like, why would he do this? Like, why? And it's just like, he's just that stupid. Like, you can just be that stupid. And so I don't know, not to throw shade at that family. I don't know who they are. I'm not trying to say that they're that low IQ, just saying that either crypto isn't built in a way for people and for everybody's self-custody, or some people just shouldn't, which is a bummer. What's up, Brendan? My day always gets better when glad. Well, that's nice of you, man. That's nice of you. I need to do these maybe more often. Crypto, I don't know. There's some projects out there that I think are interesting and fun to talk about, but it's almost like I don't even know what to make of this market. It doesn't feel like an altcoin season. There's maybe like a few coins out there that are doing anything. But overall, and I'm curious your thoughts if you're watching this video. Like, does crypto just seem really? It doesn't even feel like crypto. Fewer and fewer people are trying to achieve like the mission of, self-sovereignty and all this. What some people would say is just like, well, now that's just, who cares? This is hocus pocus, decentralization, privacy, trustlessness. Like, who cares, bro? Number go up. Michael Saylor, buy Bitcoin, kind of thing. So it's not even cool anymore to some degree, because it's like everyone just wants the number to go up in fiat terms, more and more people. It's a smaller and smaller percentage that are here for like the old reasons, it feels like. And then, everyone got burned so badly on meme coins. This is just my interpretation, that the whole come into crypto for get rich, but also good tech is kind of not there anymore. It's just get rich. I remember it used to be that like a tech upgrade for a chain used to cause people to buy it. It was that kind of news. And now it's like tech upgrade, like, bro, who cares? It'll be like a new cool upgrade that makes it faster or something else. And it's just like, doesn't even make the news. So I think everyone that does come in to gamble, I don't even know how much of that is left. Like, it almost feels embarrassing to say that you're interested in crypto or that you like crypto, at least for me outside, like at the gym, I'll run into a couple people here and there. And it's like, oh yeah. What do you do? Whatever. I'll mention that I have a YouTube channel, or, I talk about crypto on the internet. It's like, oh, it's like this, like, it's almost like this, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like right. Like a judgy, like idiot sort of thing. And it is what it is. That's the vibes I get, at least. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So Brendan says, yeah, I'm so bored. Last year, this time, there was so much going on. Yeah, it's almost like it's weird that it came in a wave, and that Bitcoin's at like 116 or 117,000 when I started streaming this. I don't know what it's at this very moment. And like now, it's like Bitcoin's up But like the only stuff that everyone is talking about is like Sailor or, you know, all these ways of using Bitcoin that is just lame to me. It's lame in my opinion. It's like none of it is peer-to-peer. It's all just, I don't know. XMR Kitten, 100% true. I assume you're talking about the coolness and people using crypto. Mostly just everything is a meme now. It used to be, yeah, I already mentioned. Now everything is a meme. That is so real, man. I know. I still tell people, yeah, interested in crypto, like, whatever, but it just every time, and then nothing, no follow-up, no like, and then I might run into them again at the gym. They're like, oh yeah, you see Bitcoin's price? And I'm like, I get it. Like, that I'm a fan of crypto, but like, this ain't it. That's not what I'm really watching necessarily. I watch the charts, but like if Bitcoin was to go, if I get off here and Bitcoin's at 125, I honestly don't care that much. I would care more that Bitcoin is being used for payments, peer-to-peer, or like, I don't know. You guys get what I'm saying. But anyways, this is a Vultisig news video. So I will end it here. Let me know what you guys think of Vultisig. Are you bullish on it? Do you have any feedback? I guess I'm not on the team or anything like that. So if you've got any feedback, go join their Discord or tag them on Twitter. But I'm just curious, you guys' thoughts. Drop it in the comments regarding Vultisig, and I'll see you on the next video.